So call to order. Roll call.
Mayor Endicott,
Present.
Blades,
Present.
Rajaratnam,
Present.
Heyman,
Present.
Gorman.
Present.
5 present, we have a quorum.
All right, next move to the approval of agenda. Are there any changes? If not, call for a motion. Or do I have a motion?
You do have, I move to approve.
Do I have a second? I have a second.
Five ayes, motion carries.
All right, next we will move to closed session held pursuant to California Government Code Section 54957, Subpart B, Public Employee Performance Evaluation, Title City Manager. So, we're going to start our regular session now. If y'all would stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing. Councilman Rajaratnam, would you lead us in an invocation?
Please join me in prayer if you would. Lord, thank you for giving us this day. Lord, as we gather here to discuss issues relating to the city, Lord, give your wisdom and your direction, Lord. May we always keep the interest of the city above our own interests, Lord. Lord, I pray for the staff who work for the city and make this community a better place, especially for those who have achieved milestones like 20 years and 10 years. Lord, thank you for their commitment to this community. Lord, I pray for all the service organizations which we have in our town, who meet the needs of the poor and the needy in our community. Especially pray for Red Cross and for the service which they do for this community and also this country and all over the world. Lord, I pray for our troops who are in harm's way, protect them from all evil. Lord, bless each one of us here today. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, so next item on the agenda is the attorney report out of closed session.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and council members. One item was taken up by the council in closed session, and no reportable actions were taken by the council.
All right. Next item on the agenda is presentations. There's supposed to be 3? Okay. All right, if the council members will join me. And would Hector join us over here?
Hector's not here. I'm here on behalf. I'm Lester Fusel.
Okay. Hi, nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
All right, I'm going to read this, and then if you have something to say?
Hi, if I could.
Yes.
Thank you.
This March, we celebrate American Red Cross Month by recognizing the compassion acts of people in the city of Ridgecrest and by renewing our commitment to lend a helping hand to our neighbors in need. Since Clara Barton founded the American Red Cross more than 150 years ago, generation after generation has stepped up to deliver relief and care across our country and around the world, bringing out the best of humanity in times of crisis. Advancing this noble mission, the volunteers and supporters who now give back through the American Red Cross, Kern County and Eastern Sierra chapter remain unwavering in their commitment to prevent and alleviate human suffering in the face of today's emergencies. Volunteers of the American Red Cross throughout Kern County and Eastern Sierra regions readily respond to the needs of the community. During the summer of 2024, the Burrell Fire burned areas surrounding the community of Lake Isabella. Red Cross volunteers responded immediately to the needs of the community, setting up safe, clean shelters in nearby Ridgecrest and Tehachapi, welcoming all families and neighbors displaced from their homes by the wildfires. Their voluntary and generous contributions shine a beacon of hope in people's darkest hours. Whether it's delivering shelter, food, and comfort during disasters, providing critical blood donations for hospital patients, supporting service members, veterans, and their families, saving lives with first aid, CPR, AED, and other skills, or delivering international aid and reconnecting loved ones separated by global crises. This work to uplift our community is truly made possible by those who selfishly answer the call to help, whenever and wherever it's needed. We hereby recognize this month of March in honor of their remarkable service, and we ask everyone to join in their commitment to care for one another. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the City Council of the City of Ridgecrest, does hereby proclaim the month of March as Red Cross Month and encourages all Ridgecrest citizens to reach out and support its humanitarian mission. Thank you very much.
I'm just going to take a couple of minutes of your time. I actually had to write something out because I get a little tongue-tied due to social anxiety sometimes. But my name is Lester Fusel, and I am one of those volunteers. I'm also the Government Operations Liaison with the Eastern Kern Sierra chapter of your American Red Cross. And on behalf of the chapter, I thank you and accept this recognition. Red Cross Month was first proclaimed in 1943 by President Franklin Roosevelt and has been recognized every year since. It's also a time we recognize our many volunteers that carry out our daily mission of community disaster preparedness and disaster response and mass care. Our volunteers include residents of Ridgecrest, who are part of 90% of our volunteer workforce that support our daily humanitarian missions. We are grateful for the partnerships and shared collaboration we have with the City of Ridgecrest and its other government and non-government organizations, as well our partner nonprofits in the city. I'd also like to thank those community vendors that have supported us during our shelter operations. Feeding our clients is very important, and our local vendors make that possible, and we appreciate them. Ridgecrest is familiar with disaster emergencies, as your city's preparation and resilience was demonstrated during the earthquake in 2019. And now, as then, the Red Cross is there when needed. And most recently, in June 2024, as stated, the city showed the heart of Ridgecrest as kind and good neighbors when called upon by the Red Cross to set up an evacuation shelter in the city when Lake Isabella evacuees and surrounding areas had to hastily relocate. On a personal note, I want to thank the community itself for its selfless heart and generous giving in support of the borough's shelter evacuees. I would personally like to say that as we were setting up the shelter, there were many, many, many people who answered the call, and we had lines of vehicles bringing many things. And I will say that a great many of those items that were brought, especially foodstuffs, were used during the time that we had the shelter opening, and I can't say enough for the people here in their heartfelt efforts in making sure those people were taken care of. You guys are some fantastic neighbors. In closing, your Kern Eastern Sierra Red Cross appreciates this recognition and invites anyone interested in joining the Red Cross to go online to redcross.org to sign up. We've got a lot of great opportunities for our in-person and virtual service in your community, and we'd be happy to have you as part of our team. Thank you very much.
So next item, we have employees' years of service presentations. Two of them, we have Kelly and Justin, if you'd like to come up. All right, either of you want to go first? All right, so Justin, thank you for 10 years of service. I greatly appreciate it. Do you want to say something?
I'm not one for speeches, so I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm grateful to be here tonight. Thank you, everybody.
And our next recognition of service for 20 years is Kelly Bruton. There you go. Yeah!
All right, so I did write a little something. So when I received my 10-year service reward, Councilman Mauer asked me if I would speak at the time, and I wasn't ready. So I told him if I made it to 20 years, then I would. So I'm holding up my end of the bargain, even though he is no longer with us. Over the past 2 decades, I've had the privilege of watching the city grow and improve in so many ways. I've seen projects come to life and the dedication of so many people working to make our community better. It has been an honor to be a small part of that progress. These past 20 years have been so much more than just a job itself. It has been a journey of growth, resilience, and learning, made possible by the unwavering support of those around me. As you can see, I work with amazing people who support me all the time and encourage me, and even celebrate my wins, like when I finally finished my bachelor's degree. I also want to thank my family, as they have been my rock, my source of strength. Their patience, love, and encouragement made it possible for me to balance work, school, and life. I could not have done it without them. Thank you to all of my colleagues, past and present, for making me who I am, and I look forward to continuing this journey with all of you for the years to come.
Justin, you want to come back and get a photo as well?
And so we're on to recognizing the Lions Club, especially the Lions Club and all the speakers who took part in the contest. And council, if you don't mind just remaining up here for just a little bit longer, I won't take too much more of your time. I was humbled and privileged to be asked by Mr. Spahn to judge the contest, and it definitely turned out to be a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I had preconceived notions. I thought, well, this is it's a pretty good prompt. It's going to be pretty good speeches, but surely somebody's just going to leap right ahead. But that wasn't the case. Everybody who walked up to the podium, and it was a very structured environment. Kudos to you, sir. And all the speeches were excellent, and judging was very difficult. So, if you could please come up, Mr. Spahn, and I know that you'll probably have a few things to say. As you're coming up, I wanted to just point out, the reason I asked for this to be on the agenda is because this is a huge benefit to the community. It's done a lot, the speakers go up, and I'll let you speak to that. The speakers go up and out and above Ridgecrest, but this is an enormous benefit to the community, and I think a great thing that you're doing. And I have to there'll be many more congratulations, but thank you to all the speakers, because I was impressed. I was genuinely impressed at how everybody did who walked up to that podium, and judging was not easy. So, Mr. Spahn, if you don't mind.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lion Michael Spahn. I'm the secretary of the Ridgecrest Lions Club. And just a quick elevator pitch. The contest we had here on January 23rd in the City Council chambers was called the Student Speaker Contest. It's a California-wide Lions Club foundational project where we have students give a 5 to 10 minute presentation on a prompt that's selected by the Lions Club members all over California. This year's prompt was called Artificial Intelligence, Friend or Foe. The students, high school age 9th through 12th grade, had to come up with a persuasive public speech to give to us. Mr. Kyle Blades was one of our judges, as well as 3 other individuals from our community. But I would like to recognize our speakers. We have a few of them in the crowd. So if I could have forward Ethan Hardy and Taylor Kennedy and Ella Anderson. These are 3 of the 5 students who presented. They had very, very persuasive speeches. I don't envy the job that Mr. Blades had to do. It is a very difficult job. The other 2 students that could not make it this evening were Quan Lasky and our winner, who will be going on to the zone contest, the next level contest this Saturday in Tehachapi, is Apu Thich. So I want to honor and congratulate these young men and women, because they are the ones that are our future. So thank you. Would you guys have anything to say?
You said it all, but you're very welcome if you have anything to say.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Do I have to say the topic?
Yep, so you'll definitely want this
I promise
guy.
I'm loud. Okay. The topic presented before us is artificial intelligence, AI, friend or foe. Artificial intelligence, AI, has become an integral part of our daily lives, influencing various sectors such as healthcare, education, entertainment. Hold on, it went away. Sorry, guys. I have a printed copy. So sorry.
You're fine, you're fine.
Okay. influencing various sectors such as healthcare, education, and entertainment. The debate over whether AI is a friend or foe is multifaceted, encompassing various things such as potential benefits and risks. The duality of the nature of AI lies in the determination of both its possibility to be a beneficial tool and potential threat. On one hand, AI serves as a powerful ally in numerous fields. In healthcare, AI algorithms can analyze vast amounts of information and diagnose diseases more accurately and swiftly than human doctors. For instance, AI-powered diagnostic tools have shown remarkable success in identifying conditions like cancer at early stages, significantly improving patient outcomes. In education, AI-driven platforms offer a personalized learning service catering to individual needs, which furthers academic performance. Moreover, AI enhances our daily lives through smart home devices, virtual assistants, and recommendation systems, making tasks more convenient and efficient. Advancement is the basis of AI. Walkmans and cassette tapes and landlines mean nothing to my generation. However, for your generation, they were your lives. My parents and my grandparents, they sent letters and they paged their friends. I can order groceries from my Alexa and have my dishwasher alert me when the cycle is over. These are all things that seem foreign and crazy to an older generation, almost lazy. But for my generation, they pose an easier and more efficient life for myself. I always have, as a student, some paper or assignment to complete, and I type like a mad woman, which bugs my mother to no end. But the faster I type, the more likely it is that I've made a simple error or grammar mistake. And Grammarly, an AI-based platform, senses my words and intentions and fixes the mistake for me. And this AI-powered system is one that schools bought rights to for students to have for this very purpose. However, the rapid advancement of AI also raises concerns about its potential to become a foe. One major issue is the displacement of jobs due to automation. As AI systems become more capable, they can perform tasks previously done by humans, leading to job losses in various industries. This economic disruption can create social inequality and exacerbate unrest. Additionally, the ethical implications of AI are worrisome. AI systems can perpetuate biases present in their training data, leading to unfair outcomes in areas like hiring, law enforcement, and lending. Furthermore, the lack of transparency in AI algorithms makes it difficult to hold them accountable for their decision-making. AI can create a major economic decline for our society, being able to create jobs and tasks that no longer require human intervention. Some fields are safe for now, like fields directly linked to human labor or human emotions, like psychology. But how long until AI is so advanced that not even those fields are safe? We've had major economic recessions before, like 2008 or the second quarter of 2020, which thankfully were reinstated and recovered. But what if, in 2020, when you lost your job, you were replaced by an AI system and your boss didn't hire you back because robots can't get sick? This, as a widespread possibility, could have made our economy plummet. AI is a double-edged sword, offering significant benefits while posing serious risks. As we continue to integrate AI into our daily lives, it is crucial to strike a balance between leveraging its advantages and mitigating its potential harms. Policymakers, technologists, and society at large must work together to ensure that AI remains a friend rather than a foe. By addressing ethical concerns, promoting transparency, and fostering inclusive growth, we can harness the power of AI for the greater good. The truth of the matter is, I could have produced this entire speech with the use of AI, and you would never know. You could speculate or assume or even form your own opinions. But the spectacular thing about AI is the fact that words, ideas, and concepts cannot be owned by one person or one mind, but rather distributed and added to by society. AI, while having the ability to take away from civilization and education and so many other fields, also has the ability to add a greater potential for knowledge. ChatGPT, Snapchat AI, Quizlet, and all other similar resources are a huge part of people's lives. Everything online lives forever and is at easy access to every individual. As a student, these resources are evident in my life, as well as this topic presented before us is multifaceted. Students can rely on these resources as an aid to their education, either filling in the gaps that teachers have left or giving them the answers they are simply too burnt out to derive for themselves. This, to students, is a major asset. It makes their lives and education just that much easier. However, in the long run, as described by most administrators, takes away from the actual learning and derails the learning process. AI has the ability to be a helpful tool that streamlines intelligence in a more applicable way. However, who is to say that AI isn't just as deadly as it is helpful? We have all pondered and seen the very possible negative effects of AI. For years, the controversy has been displayed through entertainment platforms and distributed through movies and shows like Subservience and Upload and Humans, which are all of the fears of AI placed into the entertainment field, detailing all of the things that could go wrong should we prioritize AI excellence. AI, by nature, is a morally gray invention. AI is created, designed, and furthered by humans who have the obligation to place their own beliefs and opinions into their algorithms. AI, artificial intelligence, friend or foe? My answer is both, and neither. The question is subjective, however, taking all of the information and opinions based around the very current and specific topic makes it hard to have a clear answer. AI is helpful and available while dually existing as deadly and concerning. Furthering and exploring it is a landmark that should not go unexplored and would be, said simply, dumb to not do so. What if Edison had never invented the light bulb and Columbus never founded America? Both had the potential to end critically bad, but were important and crucial discoveries in history. Every scientific discovery could be harmful, like exploring space, but why should we give up the expansion of our knowledge for the possibility of a bad end? People are right to fear the consequences of AI and how it affects civilization. Every good has a bad, and that is the basis of life. Nothing could be black without white or dark without light. Fear is the most important part of innovation. AI is a friend and a foe, and the true answer lies in how we as a society prioritize it and further its possibilities. The end.
Great job.
Thank you.
That was fantastic.
Thank you to the Lions Club. I appreciate it, and thank you to all the speakers.
Fantastic. I am still a adjunct professor. I do online teaching, and AI is still integral in how I even grade my students' stuff right now, which isn't the case of how it was 3 years ago when I was an assistant professor. So it has a lot of good things. It can tell me when a student is using AI, which is fantastic, because there's some of these things that I'm reading that probably are on a doctoral level, so I easily know in a 100 level class they shouldn't be writing that. But yeah, I guess maybe it's the age difference. I was expecting a Terminator reference or something, but the newer shows work, so, okay.
Walkman?
What, no, that one hit hard. That one in the pager? Ugh, all right, but great job. All right, so next on to public comment of items not on the agenda. Persons wishing to address the council on matters that are within the council's jurisdiction and do not already appear on the agenda may do so at this time. Council will not respond to any public comments, but may provide direction to staff to collect information pursuant to the Brown Act. The City Council may not act on an item that does not appear on this agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes. The public comment section of the agenda is limited to a total of 1 hour. Each speaker is asked to provide his or her name. Are there any public comments?
Good evening. My name is Brenda. I'm a civil servant here on base. I would like to put into motion a topic to be added to the agenda on the subject of federal cuts and DOGE. Cuts are coming to the military. Pete Hegseth has approved 8% of the DoD workforce to be cut. We have groups on base that are already short-staffed. If we were to lose even more, it would increase the workload of people who are left. People are going to burn out and look for work elsewhere. If we lose people, this will impact the amount of testing we can do on the range. Less testing means less money to pay people, which leads to more cuts and a compounding problem. The results of an 8% cut could ultimately be much higher. This town relies on federal workers to provide you property tax and sales tax. If we lose the workforce, people aren't going to stick around in Ridgecrest. There aren't any other equivalent jobs here. Your tax revenue is going to go down. How will you afford the salaries for your police department and your firefighters? How will you pay for the bonds for the pool? What about blight in this city? How many people in Ridgecrest rely on HUD and government assistance? Will people become homeless? Will they have to set up encampments here? What about our hospital that has been struggling for years? Will this be the tipping point for it closing its doors? We're a rural out here. We rely on federal funding. You need to meet with the governor and see what California can do for us. Congress is not coming to save you. We're on our own, and you need to start planning for the worst.
Thank you very much for that.
Good evening, Mike Neal again. Just to respond to the little speech that was given and comments about that. There's a movie made in the 60s era called The Forbin Project, and I always actually made my children watch that just so they could attain a healthy fear of computers taking over things from humans. So if you're interested, I'm sure you can find that. What I want to do now is read to you excerpts from documents that I've sent the City Council previously. This is a court case out of Norfolk, Virginia, where the ruling was made almost a year ago, May 10th, 2024. It's a city of Norfolk versus a person named Javon Antonio Bell. Okay, in the suit, the defendant moves the court to suppress the photographs of the vehicle the defendant was driving from the Flock automated license plate reader system. Because the Norfolk Police Department did not seek a warrant to obtain the license plate information from Flock. Okay, he's making this motion based on the need to have a warrant, and he didn't want to be searched without a warrant. And I'm going to skip through this. I hope at least some of you have read this. I believe the mayor indicated that he had. Let me go on further. In Norfolk, of course, which is much larger than Ridgecrest, they have 172 license plate camera readers all throughout the city, which our plan is to have them all throughout the city. And every officer in their police department can access the Flock system, which shares its data with other police departments. Now, I've seen the list of who the departments we share with and been informed that we, basically we're connected. It's connected nationwide. I believe the chief told me he nailed somebody who was on their way to Arizona, trying to do whatever they were doing. Found him out there. So, once your picture's in that system, and something kind of gets put in the system, case number assigned and so forth, you can be found you can go across the country and he could find you in Virginia for that matter. And their system, which I'm not quite sure about ours, but they said no special training was needed. Every officer in the police department had access to the Flock system, and I believe that's the case at Ridgecrest. And the Commonwealth's attorney asked a particular investigator if he obtained a search warrant, and he said he didn't need one. So they, as with our police department, they don't think they need a warrant to access your picture. All they got to do is put in your license plate number or identifying information. On cross-examination, the officer stated he used the license plate information from the system to access DMV database and learned it was linked to the wife, and they chased this further on. Now that's the kind of the summary of the thing. I'm going to skip. I hope that you will read the first paragraph in the analysis section. It basically says that the Fourth Amendment, and it's the end of that paragraph, the Fourth Amendment's purpose is to deter, to compel respect for the constitutional guarantee in the only effectively available way, by removing the incentive to disregard it. The judge went on to state, a person does not surrender all Fourth Amendment protection by venturing into the public sphere. To the contrary, what one seeks to preserve is private, even in an area accessible to the public, may be constitutionally protected. Individuals have a reasonable expectation of privacy in the whole of their physical movements. That goes totally counter to the little phrase that's been spat off of, you don't have any expectation of privacy when you're out in public. Well, this judge disagreed with that and said, yeah, you do. You shouldn't have to stand for being recorded everywhere you go all day long, every single day, day and night. He went on to say, prolonged tracking of public movements with surveillance serves to invade the reasonable expectation citizens possess in their entire movement and thus requires a warrant, which we are not doing at this time. And that's my biggest headache with it. The court emphasizes that it is perhaps, hope you bear with me, I'll just read this, there's even more. Perhaps most concerning that the police department made warrantless use of the Flock system, about which the courts of the Commonwealth know so little, is due in part to the many ways in which it could be abused. And he went on, talked about possible abuse of the system, which is, you just think about it a little while, you can find lots of opportunities for that. And I'll have to just drop it off there. I'm going to go well over the time limit. Like I said, I hope you gentlemen will read this. I hope you think about what it says, what the judge had to say about it. We need to respect our constitutional rights in this city. Catching criminals a little bit easier is not worth the price. And I have to say, I have more confidence in our police department to execute their job than to have to hand them a tool that could possibly be abused in really bad ways. They've been catching criminals in this town ever since I've been here. I go out on the street, and though I arm myself, I'm not worried about being attacked because they do their job. They know who to go after. They've told me personally, they know who the bad guys are. They make it hot for them. They move on. They get out of town. They know what they're doing. And outside, it's not like it being spied on 24 hours a day. I think it's just simply the wrong approach.
Mr. Neal, really quick, I didn't catch the movie title that you said in
Called
the beginning?
The Forbin Project, Forbyn. It was really scary the first time I saw it.
Project. All right. Thank you. Are there any other public comments? No? Seeing none, I'll move on to council announcements and direction. Brenda, I want to not necessarily direct, but I do know, as a city employee or a federal employee with under 3 years of service, I think that this is a terrifying time for individuals on the base and individuals that are outside of probationary work. I think that there's so much concern and worry and nervousness and honestly fatigue, which I think that you hit on as well, that I'm worried about the continual denigration of our federal workforce, that we as federal employees continue to be dragged through the mud, when you're correct. There's a lot of departments on our base that are severely understaffed already. Individuals are having to do 3 or 4 jobs or have 3 or 4 job titles. And on top of that, now we have to worry about doing more with less. I know it affects my family. Just walking the halls in the building that I work at, I can see the just absolute tiredness. Like families are up worried about if they're gonna have a paycheck, if they're gonna have a job. What do we do about the mortgage? How are our children going to continue? And I have to believe, and I do believe, that the administration on the base is doing everything that they can to protect us. Having said that, I think you are right that we need to do more and seeing what we can do. I know that there are private citizens in the city who have reached out and gotten things into the hands of decision makers to try and protect this base. And I know that they've gotten into the hands of individuals who can make a difference. So there is an effort within the base and within the community, and I couldn't be more proud of this community for how they've seemed to come together. I think that, not everyone's going to understand what federal employment means and what that type of work entails. But I joked earlier that I'm entirely a cynic and a pessimist, and here I am actually giving out optimistic advice. But I do feel that this base, with the critical nature of what we do, that we will be spared, and generally the anger and the hate and the fear of what government employees do, it's probably generally targeted to more of the DC area. And so while we might feel attacked with that, I can only hope that the powers that be can see what we do here is vital to the warfighter. Any other questions or comments, council announcements or directions? I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent.
Are we in the comment?
Council announcements and direction.
Just a few words along the same lines. I remember when Chuck Yeager managed to break the sound barrier in that rocket plane. He was later asked about the circumstances, and he said, as I approached the speed of sound, or a certain speed, the vibration became so fierce I couldn't read the instruments. My teeth were rattling. I was filled with uncertainty and fear. But then, almost magically, as we transitioned through the speed of sound, everything settled out quite naturally, and it became smooth, and I could breathe again. That's what popped into my head while you were speaking.
We just haven't hit the speed of sound yet. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying we're going through a transition that's painful.
Any other directions or council announcements? Go ahead.
I do. I have a couple. I have a question maybe for Chief. So where are we on BWC, body-worn cameras right now? So do we have any update on that? I mean, we thought we'll have them within a time frame of 1 month, I think, when we approved that.
Yeah, they're currently in the chief's conference room, ready to be deployed. There was a purchase that needed to be made to have Wi-Fi capability at the back parking lot, so it would facilitate the downloading of the videos as the officers came and went. I would assume they're probably going to be out here shortly.
As soon as the IT stuff is squared away, we're ready with all the hardware.
Okay.
It's all here, we're ready to go. They just gotta make sure that the secure network for that particular item is squared away.
Okay. Yeah, because a couple of people asked me what is happening, so that's why I had to ask this question.
We're impatiently waiting as well.
Okay. Thank you. Second thing, I want to congratulate the Chamber of Commerce for putting together an outstanding economic outlook conference. The speakers were good, but one thing caught my attention. I don't know if you guys who attended the conference thought about that or not. In one of the panels, the Poverty Reach panel, it was mentioned that 25% of the population in Ridgecrest are not able to meet their needs. So which means 25% of the population of Ridgecrest is below poverty line, which really struck me because we boast ourselves to be having the second highest per capita income in Kern County. And our median income is around 84,000 and average income is around 106,000. So I was wondering how 25% of the people of Ridgecrest would be not able to meet their needs. So food for thought. So thank you.
Sure. First thing is, Mike, actually, I appreciated you sending that court case. I did look it up and did some analysis, and I'm going to be following it as it goes along. It looks like it was allowed to proceed, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. And I was bringing up some notes while you were talking, because I had originally done a search on it and some analysis, and so I'm going to keep that going in the background. So I appreciate that. So March 21st, there's a movie in the park. Marissa, that's true, right? March 21st, and then April 19th is going to be the big one, where there's going to be the chili cook-off here at the city. I think that we, as a council, are being pressured to get a tent there, but I don't think we've been able to tie that down yet. But I'm just going to put it out there. I'm not agreeing to anything yet, but putting it out there. Not just chili cook-off. It's going to be everything that the city nights usually is. A lot of vendors, a lot of good fun. The proceeds from the chili cook-off go to Safe Grad Night, and that's huge for them. Safe Grad Night's a wonderful thing that our community does. There's also going to be a movie in the park, and there's also going to be a sponsored event by Alta One, Easter egg hunt, and a lot of other activities. Am I missing anything, Narissa? Okay, cool. I believe this is way out there, but since I was just in the meeting, RidgeCon is going to be May 3rd, so that's way out there, but May 3rd. And then I can save the rest of my stuff for the end of the meeting. I echo your sentiments. I too work on base. I can tell you there's a lot of things that you cannot say sitting up here when you work on base, but what I can tell you is that it is my every intention to do every single thing that I can possibly do behind the scenes and have all the appropriate conversations and talk to all the appropriate people. And there is a great deal of things that this body can do. And so I'm confident, I cannot speak for everybody else, but I'm confident that we are going to do those things.
I also want to point out that movie in the park, Mike Neal, if you want to know, it's Transformers. It's the first Transformers, so you can bring other people to scare them with AI. All right. Moving on to the consent calendar. Did you have anything? I just bypassed you. I am sorry. Okay. Consent calendar. All items listed on consent are considered to be routine and non-controversial by city staff. Consent items may be approved by one motion if no member of the council or audience wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent calendar and will be considered in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the city council concerning the item before action is taken. I will now read the two consent items. Number one, proposed action to approve draft minutes of the Ridgecrest City Council regular meeting dated February 19, 2025. Number two, announcing proclamations prepared for the month of March and scheduled date of presentations. Does any member of the council wish to have an item pulled?
Item 1.
Brutal, Heather, brutal.
You found a typo? Awesome. Okay. Does any member of the public wish to have, we'll just say item 2 pulled? Seeing none? So now we move on.
Sure. On the draft minutes, page 2, discussion and action, item 3, that was presented by Mr. Strand, not Freeze.
Okay.
So that's the only correction. Thank you.
Okay. Any public comment on that? Seeing none? we'll
Given
go-
the changes, I propose we
Can we make
move
a
to
motion?
approve.
Can I-
Second.
There we go. We have a motion and a second to approve.
Who was the second?
Councilman Heyman.
5 ayes, motion carries.
Good job. I love your steely eye. I could have used you when I was editing my dissertation. Okay. Now on to committee reports. We'll start with the Economic Development Committee.
Yes, we met March 3rd. I'm going to list off all the items and just say, in general, they're moving forward. That is Jersey Mike's, Five Below and Ross, Wendy's. So you've probably seen the fencing going up around the old Arby's building, Bath and Body Works, and there's going to be some new businesses going in on Balsam Street. One's a bakery, and I'm not quite positive what the other two places are going to be, but I believe that they're going to be serving wine. I don't know if that's for sure. And there's going to be another restaurant going in where Golden Dragon was. More to follow on that. Yep, that's it. They're all moving forward. There's not a whole lot more to say other than progress hasn't stopped, which is a good thing.
Good.
End of report.
Okay. Next, we have the Finance Committee that will be meeting March 11th. The infrastructure meeting that got canceled from February 27th. Parks and Rec and Quality of Life Committee, we met last night. I'm going to go ahead and take that one. Kyle stole my movie in the park note that I had, but other than that, we had an update on the skate park, some of the designs that we could look that we could potentially have, and how to generate some ideas and get youth engagement in that process. Another one of the items was a youth sports and community engagement discussion, where we had a conversation about potentially getting an ice rink for the community. Not an ice rink with ice. That they have a product that is synthetic ice that costs way less to maintain and to upkeep, but it would be a year-round activity that we could have. We could do figure skating, rollerblading, inline skating on it, ice skating. We could have a hockey league for youth and adults. There's also a movement where we can have reach out to some of the 5 NHL teams that have a footprint in this area, the LA Kings, the Anaheim Ducks, the San Jose Sharks, which for some reason, that's who our regional sports programming. I get to watch a lot of Sharks games here. The Las Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers, surprisingly. The Bakersfield Condors, that's their parent team. So there are 5 teams that we can reach out to seek support and try and get a foothold of hockey support out here. And it could also provide additional, I'll just be frank. I think our youth having an aggressive outlet for things tends to lead to less aggression, unironically. That if they have the outlet where they can really let off that steam, and hockey's one of those that, depending on the age, right? and the rules available for each age range, it can really be a good outlet for our youth. Additionally, we talked about potentially lacrosse. If anything, that's a good thing to get kids just running. I don't know anything about lacrosse. I've tried to watch it, and I don't know. They hit each other with sticks and they throw a ball into a net. But we did have a pool update. I honestly, I'm blanking on the pool update right now.
Well, the bonding is
There we go.
basically complete, and the final plan checks with the fire department solar are ongoing. It should be going out to bid soon. We don't have an exact date as to when that bid date will be going out, but it is moving forward.
The next thing on the list was soccer signups. That ends this Sunday. Soccer signups end this Sunday. There is a spring camp for K through 5. 16 spots still available. There are 16 spots still available, so if your child is from K through 5 and you would like to put them in spring camp, please reach out to the city. And that's all I had from Quality of Life. Next is City Org. That will be tomorrow with Councilman Gorman.
Tomorrow at 5:30 in Council Room Bravo.
There we go.
It needed a new name rather than call it Council Room B.
Yeah, I like Bravo.
Bravo works on so many levels, as Homer Simpson would say.
All right, are there any other committees, boards, or commissions?
I attended last week's BLM roundtable, my first attendance there. A remarkable adventure, and listening to a whole room full of people all talking at the same time, but you gain a feel for who the stakeholders are in the BLM portion of the desert around us. Furtively dumped trash is a major issue. Ravens versus turtles and vice versa, and a whole bunch of other things. So a whole bunch of people get together and talk and try to solve problems. Also, I think we have a Kern COG, that's Kern Council of Governments meeting coming up soon. I think I get to drive to California City with Travis Reed here and attend Kern COG 101 and actually learn what some of these acronyms mean. I'm looking forward to it. But the last one I attended, it got my attention because they do talk about major road projects, one of which is going to be on that long uphill drive. If you drive out of Bakersfield, heading home here, on, is it 58 or 170? 58, somebody's nodding. You get to zoom, in your car, you get to zoom past those slow, ponderous trucks on the right-hand lane that are almost standing still. One of the big road projects will be to work on that road. I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's gonna be lots of fun because I think that uphill climb will, by necessity, be one lane. And how we're gonna deal with the trucks and the cars all together on one lane, I have no idea. It must be a stupendous engineering achievement. They'll call Travis, no doubt, and ask him how to pull it off. He'll have an answer, you watch. Also, I zoomed the East Kern APCD. If I had anything to report on that, I guess I would. I don't have anything in my notes. And I ducked the Kern County City Selection Committee. This is an obscure little committee that meets once a year. I swear I don't know what they do. But they didn't need me for a quorum, so I didn't have to go. That would have been in Hesperia. And when it happens again next year, I'll be sure to go. I'll take notes and I'll explain to you why it even exists. That's all I have to report.
All right. Do you have any? Nope. Any other council or other committees to report on?
No, but I think the truck driving lanes being expanded is going to be good going into Hatchby. That's a huge thing. When I was on Kern Cog, they're working on, and the city selection committee is it's where a certain amount of, they have to have a quorum, and once the cities get together, they make sure that they plan out like who's going to LAFCO and a few other committees within Kern Cog. Nothing else.
Next, we have the city manager report.
Yeah, just one brief item. I'll touch on it today, and then maybe the next council meeting can have the Public Works Director kind of flesh out a little bit more. But we did get a grant award for 4 or 5 projects for the next HSIP, Highway Safety Improvement Program. Some of the items we're looking at as part of that would be replacing all of our LED streetlights, the signal heads, as well as a hawk system at Los Flores School, and a significant amount of bicycle lane improvement. So we don't really have the total amount yet, but it is going to be a very good award, and it'll help improve our community, especially the streetlights. That's all I have.
Pardon my ignorance, but what's the Hawk?
It's a on-demand light system that controls traffic. In other words, if they hit the button, it'll stop traffic in front of Los Forest School. It's more designed just for a little more safety.
For pedestrians?
Yeah, pedestrian, yeah. That's it. That's why Travis should have done this, not me. But anyway, did my best.
All right, next, we move on to future agenda items. Council?
None.
None? None? All right. Next to mayor and council comments. Councilman Gorman, if you'd like to lead off.
He looks at me. A little bulb in the inside of my head turned on when you mentioned ice hockey. My wife and I have gone to 2 Condor ice hockey games in Bakersfield, and if you are looking for a day trip for you and your family, the little kids would just love it. It's cold in there, bring a jacket, and it's great fun. Just great fun. I highly recommend it. That's all I have.
Councilman Heyman? Councilman Rajaratnam?
I just want to thank our staff for their hard work. Really appreciate what you do for the city. So department heads like Narisa, Kelly, Travis. So thank you very much. And Kelly, congratulations for serving the city for 20 years and another 20 to come probably. Thank you very much. So yeah, really appreciate the chief as well as city manager for their hard work. Thank you.
Councilman Plates?
Yes, luckily Heather was here. I was remiss. I missed something. That's the Respect for Law dinner, March the 22nd. There still could very well be tickets if anybody from the public would like to go. But I'll echo what Solomon said. Really appreciate the city staff. That's the hard work the city staff does often goes unnoticed, I think, by the public because it's just taken for granted. But anything that this council asks to happen happens, and you guys make this look good. Thank you.
And since I get to go last, I want to say that I actually appreciate all the city staff way more than those two do, just to reiterate that. So I brought up, I already talked about the potential federal cuts and the anxiety that's on the base. You know, what I really want to point out is we as a city, please look out for your fellow citizens of Ridgecrest. You don't know the day that they're having, the worries that they have, and just have a little bit more kindness and patience when we're engaging with each other through these tough times. Next, I was contacted by someone asking if we could work on some of the weeds in the median on China Lake Boulevard, pulling them or getting rid of them in some way.
Yeah, it depends on which section we're talking about. We have everything from Ridgecrest Boulevard South, everything north is Caltrans.
Okay.
If that's the issue, we could reach out to Caltrans and see if we can get them to.
Okay. And the last thing that I want to talk about is this last week I was able to engage with our youth. Last Friday, I was able to go to Mesquite High School, and I was able to talk to students there. I gave them a little backstory and bio of myself and the struggles that I've had in my life. And I tried to motivate and try to encourage them to come and be at public comment and tell us what we can do better as a city through their eyes. Because we get a lot of individuals that do come up, and I do want to thank those that did come up and speak. For the public speaker contest person, I'll say it again, that was fantastic. Generally, the most common fear in people is public speaking, or even more so than death. So I greatly appreciate the ability to come up and talk. Taylor Kennedy? She did fantastic, and didn't struggle, it didn't seem like. But I felt myself as I left that meeting with the Mesquite High School students, I felt more empowered for why I ran, for why I want to make the city the best that it can be. And I know that every other councilman and individual up here feels the same way. But it was quite empowering to go and talk to them. I have a meeting next Friday to go and talk to students at Murray. I talked a little bit with some of the ASB students at Burroughs, and I need to go to Monroe and talk to them as well. But so having youth here, that's fantastic. We need to know how we can best help the youth in this area. If we're just up here guessing at what they need, I know that we can do surveys and stuff, but actually hearing from the public on what they want for entertainment, obviously you get me, and then I just go to ice hockey apparently. Like, I can't skate. Like, I've never even played hockey. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy being there, but that's basically, I want to find some way to engage the youth. If parents, if you know of some way, or if the youth, I'll use that broadly, let us know how we can help you moving forward, because this city will be yours, and we want to make sure that it's what you want. So that's all I have. Thank you, everyone, for attending, for public speaking. Council, for Councilman Roger Rottenham, for eagle eye attention. I love it. But that's it. Thank you. We are adjourned. It's 7:09.